Seton, what's poll question we're going to go with? At least the first hour here.
Well, they sort of run the gamut here today.
Okay.
We could say if Alabama beats Georgia, the SEC championship game
Dot,
this weekend. Dot.
Ooh. Okay.
We can populate from there because that would obviously lead to unbelievable chaos.
Okay. I'm really curious about Texas because Texas beat Alabama at Alabama, and that's a damn good win. But feels like they're going to be on the outside looking in, and I find that to be. We won't worry about that next year at this time. That's where a lot of people are going to go. Next year at this time. Yeah, you're right. Next year at this time. Texas needs some help there. Yes, Marvin?
Next year, Ole Miss is going to be pissed when they're the 13th team.
No complaining. It's like when we expanded to 68 teams, March Madness, I go, do not say we got hosed, we were on the bubble. If you're not one of the 68, then, your coach should be fired. Don't tell me that. So when we get that 13th team, like, man, we got hosed. No, probably didn't. Yes, Marv.
Virginia Tech every March. Come on. We beat Duke on the road. Yeah, but you guys lost to Krappensburg State at home, though.
Yeah, let's go.
By the way, Krappensburg State, I've been told the hoodies are going fast. If you want to get a Krappensburg State hoodie or any of the other gear that we have, you can go to danpatrick.com. Anything else, Seton, that you might be thinking about? We're rooting for chaos this weekend. We rarely get it, but we're rooting for it.
It's funny because we're rooting for chaos, what exactly would chaos mean?
I guess that Florida State would drop out. Alabama would get in. Would Georgia stay in? What about if Oregon wins? If Ohio State is on the outside and is not even playing but somehow gets in? Is there any other outlier there that you go, they got a shot here? What if Washington wins that game? They're in. What if Florida State wins? They're undefeated, and they don't have their star quarterback there. Now, should you be factoring that in? The human element. Now, if these are computers, the computer doesn't do that, but the human element is like, I don't know, no Jordan Travis here. Can you ignore that? It's a made-for-TV event. Yes, Eden?
I don't know if we have enough time in the next 2 hours to get into it. Because the thing that I'm struggling with is I get that there would be like things shifting, whatever else, but the very first example of it would be chaos if Alabama gets in. I mean, it's not really like, was it Georgia or Alabama? That doesn't exactly seem like chaos. It seems like the last 10 years.
Okay, what would be chaos? Paulie?
If Alabama wins a close game over Georgia, where Georgia is right in it to the end, and Alabama wins by like a point, and then you throw in if somehow Iowa beats Michigan. If those two things happen on Saturday, you're going to have like 6 teams in the mix for 4 spots, and you're going to have to come up with some reasons to put them in and take them out. Because Alabama beating Georgia in neutral field, you're not going to put them in. And Georgia, 2-time defending champs, lose by a point on a neutral field, you're dropping them to 5. And then Michigan's the favorite. I'm just saying those 2 games would decide it.
Okay, but I'm looking at Vegas, and really that's what you should go on. Vegas is saying Michigan is the best team, then Georgia, Oregon, Alabama, Texas, Washington, Florida State. Yes, Eden.
How does Vegas define Michigan as the best team?
Paulie?
Okay, they're not necessarily saying Michigan's the best team, as they're saying Michigan has the best chance because Michigan has an easy game this weekend, in theory, against Iowa. Georgia has their chance to make the playoffs
is harder.
A little harder because of this weekend's games. So I bet you when this weekend is over, Georgia's the overall favorite.
If Georgia beats Alabama.
Correct. And Michigan handles business, I bet you Georgia is the Vegas favorite.
We always root for this, or we always think there could be chaos, and there rarely is. But if Louisville beats Florida State, Florida State's just going to drop out. But there's always going to be there's always been that team that's 5th, where we go, oh, man. Who's going to be that team this year? Because the committee, it goes back to, what was it, TCU many, many years ago, and I thought, God, they deserve to be in the Final Four, and they're like number 5, and they weren't going to move in. But now you get to the point where it's the point of no return with Florida State, because if Florida State wins, they're in. Yeah, nothing you can do about it. whether they have their star quarterback or not. Yeah, Paulie.
We threw out an idea probably years ago. Whoever's the team that gets left out, let's say how Texas finishes 5 and is left out of the playoffs, they get the right to play the national title game winner and to open the season next year. Like the team that got screwed against the best team in football opens next season. You have a natural built-in storyline, and you just leave a hole in the college football schedule.
Well, I was waiting for Iowa to play LSU in women's basketball to open up this season. That would have been great. That's marketing right there. They didn't do that. Nobody listens. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
No, they can't.
We should be running things.
Maybe we should.
Should.
We should.
Exactly what I was thinking.
In 2028, we'll be free.
You guys will be free agents in 2028.
If you put all 5 of us together, we're like one really smart person.
Yeah. But you 4 moving on in 2028. Now, will you get picked off by some of these other shows?
Oh, hadn't happened yet.
Will
Transfer portal?
I'm not holding my breath.
Can you get somebody to sit in here and then you guys continue the show just under another name? Or it could be, like the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson or CBS Evening News with Dan Rather, the Dan Patrick Show with Ross Tucker.
And I'm essentially the Ed McMahon of the show because all I do is laugh. Yes, sir.
You are correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Once again, Christmas Eve, 2027.
See ya.
Yeah.